All right. What it do? Happy fucking Thursday, people. How we all doing? I hope you're having as always, wonderful evening. It's good to be here. Nice little Thursday stream. How's it going, Ty Bets? How's it going, Big Ank? Orange Cat, what's good, bro? How you doing, Paradox? Hope everyone is well and good. Nice to see everyone here. Boy. Oh, let's settle into this. So basically, this is just the pre-stream before Bodach does his big quiz night this week. So we're kind of gearing up for that. How you doing, Grimy? What's good, man? How we all fucking doing? How's everyone's week's been? Moody, what's good, bro? Haven't seen you around in a while. How's the channel going? I hope everything's well there. Skip, thoughts on Luke Thomas? Sup? Thoughts on Luke Thomas? Do you know what? I haven't watched anything that Luke Thomas has done in a long while. I go through kind of weird phases with Luke Thomas, or I did in the past, where I used to kind of enjoy what he was doing until like the saltiness started coming through a little bit and the whining. So I haven't really watched anything he said in a while. So long story short, fuck him, I guess. He's not really that relevant to me. Rip him a new one, Frankie. Nah, I'm not going to be ripping anyone a new one. I do have a few things to say, and I will get to it shortly. Good evening, Frank. How you doing, Lane? What's good? How are you? Waiting to post some hockey and some AEW wrestling. AEW still going. Fucking hell, man. I've never really got into the old AEW thing. I'm glad that they're on the scene and that there's competition there, but I don't really watch wrestling anymore. I kind of quit doing that when I was 18 or 19. What's the clown issue? We're going to get to that very soon. Apparently, he had a few things to say about me recently. So I'm going to address some of those things and we will talk about it. But, we'll wait for the chat to simmer a little bit. We'll get into things. There's nothing too much to it. It's very, it's handbags, to be perfectly honest with you. But I feel like it's something that needs to be at least talked about because, you'll see in a few minutes as to why that has to be the case. But yeah, we'll get into it. Very interesting stuff. It only really came to my attention a couple of days ago. Kind of caught me by surprise a little bit, I'll be honest. But we'll get into that as well. Yeah. Just joining, missed what I need to simmer on. Not much really. We're just doing like a pre, it's like a pre-stream before Bodach does his thing in about an hour and a half. Kind of like to sync with my brother over there. And yeah, he's going to be doing his quiz tonight. So I figured we'd talk about that. There's a few little things that, like I said, I have to mention regarding the whole clown show. I wouldn't even call it controversy. It's just a little spat that apparently we've had that I was unaware of. But we will get into it. Massive areolas or massive nipples? I'm going to go for somewhere in between. I'm a medium-sized nipple type guy. I don't like them too big like pepperoni. And I don't like them too small like little dots either. Which ironically is what I'm packing underneath this swollen physique you see before you. Oh, good to see you, Kerry. Hope you're well, bro. Good to see you mature, as always. But yeah, massive areolas. I'm not really sure what you're referring to exactly. It's not a term that I'm familiar with. I've just zoned in on the nipples here, which says a lot about me, really. But yeah. Good question to start things off. It's a very Frankie-esque question to drop in the chat, so I appreciate you for that. I hope everyone enjoys Bodach's quiz. Once again, I'll be sitting out to give you all a chance. That's very, very noble of you, sir. Very noble indeed. It's basically an AI race at this point. Who can type their answers into AI the fastest and lift that cup. MA Anomaly, what's it go? What's it do? But do you know what I just realized I've forgotten? I've forgotten to put people's fucking links in the chat. I completely forgot to do that today. It's been a bit of a rush. I was late back from work. Set the stream up a little bit early. But shout out to MMA Anomaly and his wonderful channel over there. Very good opinions, very good analyst, and somebody worth checking out. So check out MMA Anomaly. A lot of us have been on the receiving end of his spastic rants. Don't let it bother you. No, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Like when I found out about it, initially I was really amused by it. I thought it was really, really funny. But there was a few things that he said that have kind of pushed me into a position where I kind of have to at least address it. And I'll explain why when I get into it. But spastic rants is something I should have written down. Good point. Leon torches Brady in round 5. Leon in 5. Yeah, I think Leon's gonna win as well. I know there's been a lot of talk about the staph infection stuff. I think he's gonna get the job done. I don't think it's gonna be the most entertaining fight in the world. I think there's gonna be a lot of back and forth. I think it's gonna be a close one. But I think Leon Edwards is gonna eke it out. I'm going with a 3 rounds to 2 decision. Leon Edwards is not gonna knock his ass out. We know that. I made the mistake of saying he was gonna do that to Bilal and had to sit through him getting dunked on his fucking head. But yeah, I think he's gonna win. Leon Edwards is still young and he's still good. And he's still a very difficult person to deal with. And it's not gonna be at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning this time. No worries, bro. I'm always happy to give the shout, especially where it's deserved. So maximum respect to you, bro. Love your channel. Love what you do. And obviously I've had the pleasure of being on panels with you in the past. And hopefully we'll be doing more in the future. So shout out to the boys. Clown Show used to talk about Pickham's mum all the time. Yeah, it is very like, I mean, this is where all of this kind of stemmed from because I essentially made like some very like offhand comments, nothing too scathing about what I felt about his channel. I don't think I was too harsh. I was half complimentary, half derogatory, I'll say. And I guess he caught wind of some of the things I said and he went on like a 2 or 3 minute rant, which I'm going to play for you in a minute, about some of the things he feels about me. And like I said, I wasn't going to address them, but because of a few things he actually said in the course of that 2 or 3 minutes, I've attempted to resolve things in like a different way. And so far, he's chosen to ignore that. So I figured the best thing to do was to play what he said and then to respond to what he said. How you doing, Chrissy? What's good? How are you? Hope you're having a wonderful week. We're just settling in here, having a good one. Next time Clown streams, you should go on a panel with him. I'm very much open to doing so, and I'm going to get into that as well because that was something that he addressed in it. It was something that he said, which again was very, very puzzling to me. Like he was kind of implying that I was too much of a pussy to come on and talk to him about things. Do you know what? Before I get into it, I'll let him. I'll play what he said when things have settled down a little bit. We'll maybe get 10, 15, 20 minutes into the stream. And then I'll go into exactly what was said and what I think about it. Because you know, I think it's just fair. You know me, I'm not really into this shit, but I just noticed that as well. Grimes, that is a sick PFP. To be fair, I like it. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it looks fucking awesome, bro. Shout out to you. So yeah, we'll get into this. Wild the clown called you a puss and scared and threatened to crash out on you in real life. I'll play it. I'll play it. So I assume you've seen the clip as well. It was at first, yeah, I was laughing my head off. I thought this is hilarious. Because obviously you know how YouTube works. If your name's brought up in front of an audience, whether you want it to or not, and I didn't intend for it to get that far. But whenever your name's brought up, people become more aware of you. They might flock over to your channel to check you out. So there's the benefit of that. But when it comes to internet stuff in general, you know, like little spats and stuff, I find it a bit silly. But again, I'm going to get into why this needs to be addressed. Clown is just jealous of your skincare routine. That could be it. It could just be straight up jealousy and the incredible numbers that I do on his channel. I mean, it's all worthy, let's be honest. Franchise strip clubs or mom and pop strip clubs? Mom and pop all day long. More down and dirty. I mean, I'm not really a strip club guy. I find them. I've had discussions about this with my colleagues in particular. Had discussions about this with my colleagues in particular recently. I don't understand it. Going there and getting bricked up and getting no release seems completely pointless. But they float some people's boats. I'm not going to knock anyone for it. But if I had to choose, mum and pop, because I'm assuming it would be a little bit more down and dirty, you know, get a bit more value for your buck. You know what I'm saying? So I would go for the mom and pops. I'm not sure. I've never heard them described that way before, but I'm assuming that's what you mean. You know, the independent, sleazy, scuzzy ones. I mean, the mainstream ones, I assume you're not getting any over the trouser action, which I assume is why you would go along to these things. But if you're the kind of person to go along and blow your hard earned money on soulless bitches that don't give a fuck about you, that's a whole nother issue. But whatever. What's up, boys? How you doing, Dougie's Corner? Another shout out to you. We love Dougie's Corner in this chat and on this channel. Long-time friend of the channel. Get over and subscribe to that man immediately. I think you're well over 2,000 now. Mogged me completely because it was a competition this entire time, an unsaid competition. So shout out to you, and always great lives, always great videos. It is what it is. I'm 100% with you, Frankie. I won't yuck someone else's yum, but I personally don't get the appeal of strip clubs. I've never understood them. For me, like, I mean, I don't even understand. Thank you for fielding my questions. Don't I always? Yeah, I mean, like, for example, brothels are another one. Yeah, I don't understand them. I think that shit is gross, but at least I understand it. You go there, you hand over your money, you let that fucking that nut go, and you move on about your day. I mean, it's probably not good for your dick health, but that's another issue altogether. But yeah, strip clubs to me are just a complete oddity to me. I don't understand it at all. It's bizarre. You know, go home, watch porn if that's your thing. Rub one out. Be a man about it. Fuck it. Strip clubs just seem kind of like, I don't know, creepy and weird to me. I'll put it that way. It's so weird to hear someone talk about dirty shit in a British accent. It sounds so proper. That's the thing. It's like even when we're talking about the most disgusting, deranged things, which are very frequent in here, that the faggoty accent, which funnily enough, that word is used a lot in certain people's chats and in live streams. It just adds a little bit of class to the occasion. Do you know what I mean? Strip clubs ain't the vibe, especially since they can't legally serve alcohol inside them. That's just fucking wow. I thought it was pointless originally, but if you can't get smashed, what's the point? That would be the one thing about it. Overpriced drinks, but at least there's a little bit of eye candy. And the thing is with strip clubs, most of those women are clapped out, overly enhanced, not really attractive females, I'll put it that way. From my experience, my very limited experience. It's not a comp, bro. It's just a lottery. We'll do a joint stream soon, I reckon. Yeah, it's been a while since we've done one of those. It was never a competition. You know, I don't give a fuck. I didn't realize I'd gone over 1,000 subs, for example, until someone had told me. That's literally the exact thing I used to say to a buddy the other day. Why not just watch porn and do your thing for free? This is my point. Fucking jack it out like a champion. If you can't get a woman, knock one out. You know? There's no shame in it. We've all done it. I'm doing it right now. Strip clubs have amazing food. I mean, it's not where I would normally go to, you know, get my grub on. Pussy and food don't really, well, I was about to say pussy and food don't really mix, but that's not really true. Don't know how to rephrase that. I don't imagine hygiene would be a major thing, you know? Anakin is such a fucking snake. Dude was hyping up Clown to go against you, Frankie, saying that Brit MMA YouTubers are arrogant. I mean, I'm cool with Anakin. I like him a lot. He's been in here for He's been one of the first ones to come in here. I've got nothing against that. There's nothing wrong with stirring up a little bit of shit. I've got nothing against it. I think what I'm saying is, Gargini, shout out to you. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Um, this is the nature of what we do. If you're going to say something in public, sooner or later it's going to get back to the person. And what kind of surprises me the most about this entire thing is I don't really think I've really said anything that bad, which again I'll get into. It was very light, very very light tickling. I went to one strip club in my life. It was because all co-workers raved about the fried chicken. It was secretly it was actually low key fire. I have heard that this is a common theme that keeps coming up. I've heard that the that they do good buffets, but again, I'm not really a buffet guy. You know when people keep sticking their fingers and that in it and it's all fucked up. I'm not really. Again, it's not my first choice for cuisine, but until I try it, I guess I need to shut the fuck up. Really, super cheap. The super cheap thing surprises me, and that again, it's like with any buffet situation. I'm just not on. Don't cuck yourself out, Frankie. People like Anakin want people like Clown to rage at you for his own entertainment. I mean, the thing is, though, you're kind of right. I mean, I'm not having a go at Anakin here, but in Clown Show's defense, and I do have to be upfront about this. I kind of started it a little bit. Now, obviously, it wasn't intentionally to stir the pot or to go at the guy, but I was the first one to make comments. Obviously, he was unaware of me, and his name simply came up in my chat. Somebody asked me, "What do you think of Clown Show?" And I said a few things that weren't scathing. And as you'll see from what he said in his own video in response to me, he kind of unironically proved my point. But yeah, we'll get into it. Standards should be set. I get what you're saying. Anakin started the Israel-Palestine conflict. Well, this is small potatoes then compared to what you're usually up to, bro. Again, there's no like. I'm gonna reiterate this before we get into it. There's no beef here. I don't really give a fuck about Clown Show. I'm not bothered. I really couldn't give a fuck. And the only reason I'm gonna address it is because ultimately he basically said that I'm too much of a pussy to come on his show and address it, which is obviously complete bullshit. I don't even know what's going on here, but if a guy named Anakin turned to the dark side, should anyone be surprised? I mean, he there was foreshadowing there, to be fair. You know? Clown equals basement dweller. Again, I don't really know enough about the guy to say otherwise. I've only seen little bits of his content, and all I'll say is it wasn't for me. Frankie, you're a real person that has a life, and you're letting people like Anakin mold you. I'll keep my eye on him for you. In the meantime, like the stream. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for reminding people to do that. Clown's got deliverance vibes. Hear the banjo now. I mean, maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but and again, I don't want to stir the pot too much, but the majority of what Clown Show does is basically call out other YouTubers, beef with them, and that seems to be the entire center of what he does. Because I've tuned into his live chat a couple of times, and most of it is him crashing out and basically telling people to pull up when there's no face on camera and no location. I've always found that a little bit strange. It's a weird flex to make. Lona Kavanaugh might get subbed in round two. I don't think we've seen the best of Lona Kavanaugh. I thought his last performance, there was a lot of slickness about him. A lot. I like his body kicks. I like the fact that you know, he's very technical. He's very well rounded. And I don't think we saw the best of him in that last performance, but he's got a very dangerous opponent coming up. So, or a very, let's just say, up and down opponent who on his day can beat pretty much anyone in that division. Had a really good performance against Manel Cap. So it's going to be, I'm leaning in his direction because I do think now that he's settled in a little bit, he's got the nerves out of the way, he's going to come out and put on a better performance. But time will tell. Thanks for the reminder. The button has been pressed. Thank you very much. It does help. The channel's been on a little bit of a wave lately. Well, a wave for me. You know, I managed to get finally over that 1,000. The videos have been doing really well lately. I'm chuffed as fuck. Yo, what's good, Frankie? Why is Clown mad at you? I'm gonna explain that. So, well, I might as well get into it now. Well, do you know, we'll kick it off in about 10 minutes. I'll play what he said, and then I'll respond to what he said. I think that's the fairest way of doing it. I'm not gonna be too scathing because again, I'm not really about that, but sniffing the Illuminati stuff as well. That's what I'm saying. Clowns should be really careful. Very, very careful. Because I'm dangerous. I mean, look at me. Hard as nails. Threatening to fight people over online arguments is so lame. So basically, this is essentially what I said. I was like, it's kind of a very silly thing to do to get into arguments with people and say, well, you wouldn't step to me. First of all, we don't know what you look like. We don't know who you are. It's a weird thing to say. It's a bit strange. Calling people out and saying this and that is odd. Do you know what? I tell you what, MMA normally, you're right. We've got 30 people in here right now, 28 from what I can see. We'll get into it. So I'm going to put a little bit of context to this. Then I'm going to play the video and then I'm going to respond to what he said. So forgive me if I ignore the chat for a second. I'm going to do some, as Chris Eubank Jr. would say, we're going to have a little bit of parliamentary procedure about this. All right. So in case some of you are unaware of this, I was told recently that obviously MMA Clown Show had some rather choice things to say about me on a recent live of his. And again, I'll say I initially laughed it off. I was ultimately going to ignore it. But when I play the video, you'll kind of see why I have to respond to some extent. Now, his name did come up in a chat a couple of weeks ago, and I gave my honest response about what I thought on his channel based on my very limited experience. I've only been in there a couple of times. And again, I'll say, I don't think it was too scathing. I literally said something along the lines of like that I'd been in his chat twice. And what I saw from it was him, well, both times, as he would put it, he was crashing out a little bit, arguing with chat members, talking about how they wouldn't dare to pull up on him, which again, I'll say again, to me is a little bit pointless and immature. And then during that same chat, one of my chat members mentioned that he was going on about being 23-0 in the streets, which again, I think is a little bit of an odd flex. I mean, I'll say again, saying it doesn't make it true. And again, it's not like we can see him on camera and then subjectively assess what kind of guy he is, or can't see his size, can't see what he looks like. So that to me was a bit odd, and I made a comment about that. And then anyway, I kind of concluded by saying that, all jokes aside, that he's got an established cult base. Fair play to the guy. I've got nothing against him. That he's entertaining in his own right, but that kind of rage fuel content isn't really for me. And that was literally all I said. That was it. Nothing too scathing, nothing too harsh. I threw him a little bit of a compliment, whatever. And yeah, that's kind of all I said. So anyway, a couple of days ago, fast forwarding a little bit, loads of people contacted me. Well, I say loads. It was a handful of people, maybe 5 or 6 people contacted me saying, "Oh, Clown Show did a live about you. He's gone at you." And that's how it came to my attention. So I was like, all right. And somebody was actually nice enough to take a clip of it and send it to me because I wasn't going to watch 5 hours of him fucking rambling and doing whatever it is he does. So, yeah, I saw this 2-minute clip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that for you now. Talking about Clown Show Juice Man. I'm going to play that for you now. And then I'm going to basically respond in bits to what he said. Just so to clarify where he's coming from and all that shit. So hang on a second. I've got the video here. Hopefully you can hear this. Hang on, I'm gonna go back to the start. All right. 1 second. Can I just clarify that everyone can hear this? Because it's gonna be pointless if you can't hear what he's saying. All right, I'm gonna start with that. So he starts by saying I'm irrelevant, which is kind of funny. I'll let that one go because in the grand scheme of things, that's true. I mean, it's not why I'm on this platform, but fair enough. I have some thoughts on that one, but I'll get to that another time. Now he calls me a pussy ass coward that's hiding. First of all, I actually go on camera and I've had no issues answering questions about where I live and where I'm from. So I'll let you consider the irony of that one and work it out yourselves. And I'll let you fill in the blanks of that one on your own. All right, hang on a second. Let me start it from the beginning. I'll point the camera towards it because I don't want to. One second. Let me just. Hopefully you can hear this. All right. So he calls me a faggot coward, which I'll get to that in a minute. He says I've probably never had a fight in my life. Again, I've never claimed to be some I'm hard Muhammad Bruce Lee. Shout out to Bricktop on that one. And I've never claimed to be. But since he brought that up, I grew up in London and I have had a fair few scraps. I've won some, I've lost some. I've lost some. I'm not 23 and 0, and I'm not ranked in the streets or whatever like he is. But we'll continue. Okay, so he says that I'd never stepped to him in real life. Um, Now again, yeah, I don't really know you, or I don't, actually have any beef with you, and I'm actually an adult, so I don't pull up at random fuckers' houses and offer them out. That would be again a bit weird and frankly retarded. And again, that's his entire shtick. All right, I'll turn the volume up. Hang on a sec. My son's sleeping. I don't want to get too loud. One second. All right, so he then calls me a pale-faced faggot, and that's when I actually started to think that Clown Show might be a secret fan of old Frankie. He's got me pegged on that one. You know, I'm definitely pale, and I have said one or two zesty things in here, which a lot of you are very aware of. So, he's got me on that one. Well played. All right, carrying on. So the faggot thing is something that he says to pretty much everyone. It's kind of like his go-to insult. Um, so I'm not really too offended by that one. Wasn't really offended by anything he said, but yeah, faggot. Apparently, I'm a pasty, pale faggot. All right, anyway. So he says, "I don't know you, and you don't know me," which is actually he really hits the nail on the head with that one. Um, like again, it's kind of why all of this is a little bit stupid and silly, isn't it? I basically made a few like offhand comments about you crashing out and like calling people out immaturely, and then he unironically then responds to me again by again crashing out and calling people out immaturely. So anyway, we'll finish off what you had to say. Got 40,000 views on one of my videos this week. But anyway, we carry on. You are crushing. And see, this is it again. You're lucky I don't crash out on you in real life again, dude. It's like, again, it's just that immature, stupid bullshit again. You don't go on camera. The chances of us ever meeting in real life are very slim unless one of us premeditated it. So again, it's waffle. It's more nonsense. And that's why I can't really take the guy seriously. I know I'm probably not doing a lot to stamp out the flames on this one, but you guys get where I'm coming from. It's fucking ridiculous. Not hiding. I live in Cambridgeshire in the UK, which I've said many, many times, and my face is on camera. I'll say that again. Where's your face? All right, so he calls me boy and says, I need to come up into his live chat. Now I'm gonna say this, right? I did drop a few comments in that video a couple of days ago, and I said, all right, I'll come on anytime. We can hash this out very cordially. Didn't say anything rude or anything fucked up, and he hasn't responded. So again, I'm not somebody who's really into like this stupid internet retarded beef, but because he has chosen to not respond, and people are aware that he has said things about me, I'm like, all right, I'll address it now. And then if he chooses at some point down the line to have me on his show, to be honest, I don't really want to, but fuck it, the horse has bolted from the barn, as they say, and we're in this fucking situation now. So fuck it. If that's what he needs to do to resolve it, I know this is his whole shtick, and what he does is the whole reason he's grown his channel to the astronomical size that it's been 7 years on YouTube, by the way. The fact that this is what he does, I know I'm kind of playing into his hands a little bit, but fuck it. We're here now. It is what it is. So what I'm gonna say this one more time. I'll reiterate it one more time. I will go on his show. I will talk to him about this, like men, because I'm not a pussy out here. And all it is words. And if he's too sensitive to take a little bit of criticism about his channel, and I do think it hit a nerve, because let's be real, that is what his channel is. It's raging out, it's crashing out, it's arguing with people and offering them out when it's never gonna happen. The guy never goes on camera. It's retarded. And that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. It's fucking stupid. But I'm gonna leave it at that. The ball's in his court now. He can do whatever he wants with this information. I'm sure somebody's gonna clip this up and send it to him, whatever. And I hope they do. If you go to the video where he did make his comments, my comment is there in the chat from a couple of days ago. I've said let's talk this out, and that's all I've got to say about it. And again, I know I'm playing into his hands, and that I'm well aware of the irony of this, but fuck it, it is what it is. And I've got a lot more to say about it, based on such a very little thing, but fuck it. And again, Lane, sorry, I'm gonna start catching up with the chat now. Apologies, I know it's gonna be impossible for me to catch up with the chat as it is, but I will start paying attention to the chat as of now. Um, don't forget all the crying about not getting tips. Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, that's another issue. I mean, again, I'm not gonna get too much into that shit either, but I have heard this about him as well. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it. This is I don't usually lower myself to such like shitty levels, but fuck it, man. Fuck it. I'm not gonna have somebody call me a pussy and say that I'm not willing. Like, it's not like he's a fucking mental giant. Like, what? I'm gonna go online and he's gonna destroy me with his words. It's like that's madness to me. I go online 5 times a week. I said what I said, knowing that it could get back to him. I don't give a fuck. But at the same time, it's stupid. All this talk about oh yeah, I'm gonna pull up on you. You better be glad I'm not gonna. It's silly, bro. You sound like a retard. I know I've probably done a lot more to fan the flames, but fuck it, man. I don't give a fuck. And I'll say this again. I did somewhat start this, but my name did come up somewhat before that as well. JVD was on there. The second stream I saw of his was when JVD was on. I saw a little bit of that. And again, JVD's a friend of mine. I've got no issues with that. I've got no issues, never have any issues with JVD or anything. So that's where I'm at. Molly McCann upset and free. No chance, mate. She does have a propensity for beating up black women, but she's shit. I think she's going to get battered. Blame Anakin for stirring. Again, Gish Gallop, I am partially responsible for this. I'm not immature enough to say that I had nothing to do with this because I was asked about him and I did say what I had to say about him. It's perfectly fair of him to be annoyed by that and to make a response for it. But as you can see from his idiotic response, all he's done is prove me right. That's all he's done. Literally, the only things I said about him were about his crashing out and calling people out in really stupid ways. And he goes and does the exact same thing in response. It's stupid. And that's it. And again, the ball's in his court. The ball's in his court. If he wants to hash it out, I'll find some time to do that. I'm not bothered. I'm really not. And that's where it's at. Molly McCann is the female Drew Dober. Pretty much, yeah. Accurate. 100% accurate. And again, again, people are entitled to have their own opinions about Anakin or whatever. I like Anakin. He's been in here for a long time. I've got nothing against Anakin whatsoever. I don't. And Anakin knows that as well. So, but you're all entitled to have your own opinions about whoever you want. In the same way, Clown has his right to have his opinions about me or whatever. But telling me that I'm not allowed to respond can suck my dick on that one. Zesty comment number 1. And there will be more. Frankie, the Clown Show audio didn't come through at all. The reason why I can't play it is because, again, I think this has all been blown out of proportion. I think he's probably been told things and he's overreacted like he always does. And that's what it comes down to. I've got nothing against the guy. At the end of the day, his channel isn't for me in the same way that my channel probably isn't for him. And yeah, JVD, you're probably right. We'll probably have a chat, hash it out, and it will be fine because I'm not really a beef kind of guy. I'm a fucking adult. I'm not a boy. I'm a 40-year-old man. And this to me is kind of a waste of time. But I felt like because so many people were DMing me about it, I had the clip in hand. I felt like it would be irresponsible of me to not at least respond to it somewhat. Especially when he's saying that I don't have the balls to talk about it or to come on his show and talk about it, which I'll reiterate again, is absolute fucking bullshit. Because again, it's not like I'm dealing with some mental giant here. What is he gonna? He's not gonna fucking like. He might get the better of me in a little bit of chat. So what? It's not the end of the world. Down doesn't hash it out. You mean Clown? Downs doesn't hash it out. A little bit of a slip of the tongue. You're 40. Yeah, I turned 40 last year. I'm an old ass motherfucker. This is what I'm saying. This whole thing is stupid. Any channel that discusses MMA is not for Clown. I mean, we discuss a little bit of everything in here. Like we know, it's a little bit of a support group. It's a little bit of say whatever you want to say in here kind of thing. And I've always liked my channel for being that kind of thing. But, you know, I've only had very brief interactions from what I've seen. And every time I've gone in there, it's him raging out. That's all I've seen. Maybe there is more to his channel. I don't know. But from what I saw of it, I saw enough to be like, it's not for me. And clearly he took offense to that. I don't think I said anything to... I've said more scathing things in my response than I said that initially kicked this off. But again, this is what he's into. This is what he wants. So I feel kind of stupid for playing into his hands a little bit. But my hand was kind of forced. Yeah, it's a hate channel. And I mean, I get that. Like the thing is, yeah, I'm not even shitting on him for that. Because there's a lot of people that he has a lot of people that tune into his lives. And I said it when I initially had my critique of him. He's entertaining in his own right, but it just isn't for me. You know? And that's generally how I feel about it. Like I'm not it's not my brand of thing, you know? You can see by the creators that I usually work with. Many of them are in the chat right now. I do talk a lot of shit. I don't talk shit about people generally. I talk a little shit about women, all in banter. I talk about my experiences in life. You share yours. We do a little bit of back and forth. We talk about whatever we feel like talking about. I'm not really into this dumb YouTube beef, ridiculous nonsense. And I know it's ironic seeing as I've kind of, struck back to some extent, but it is what it is. You know, he said something about me. I said something back. Then he said a lot about me. And now I'm saying something back. And like I said, I'm more than happy to go on there and hash it out and deal with it like men. But there's going to be no fucking flying over there and ringing on his doorbell. fucking knocking his ass out because I'm an adult. And as that famous Chinese proverb once says, that's printed on all police warnings around the country, if you win a fight, you go to jail. If you lose the fight, you go to hospital. And neither of those options seem that appealing to me. So again, I'm going to be adult about this, and we can use our words. And I think I can use mine better because all he says is faggot this and dick licker that, and that's all that comes out of his mouth when it comes to insulting people. So that's all I've got to say. It's probably not all I've got to say, but fuck it. All publicity is good publicity. Yeah. Be careful, Frankie. He'll threaten. He'll threaten to make you his boyfriend if you make him angry enough. Terrifying prospect. He just seems like a very angry guy. And again, I could take him more seriously if he was somebody that went on camera and was making these claims. But again, it just comes kind of it comes off kind of silly and immature when you're calling people out and you're not even showing your face. And you're saying pull up, and it's like, all right, where am I pulling up? It's stupid. It's been stupid. And like I said, if you're into that, fair play. He is entertaining in his own right. He's got his cult following. He's got his guys that tune in and, do their thing. Fair play to him. But I'm not about that life. And there's no pussy here. I'll tell you that for fucking free. Well, if he loves the drama, he's got a nice little bit of slice here. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun making shorts out of this, which I promised myself I'm not gonna do, but the AI will come up with something. It is very silly. Is it a coincidence that half the chat will blame this for? Well, Anakin knows this. He's the one who came into the chat and said this originally, so he knows he's responsible for some of the back and forth. I'm not sure if he's the one who originally asked me what I thought of him. Could have been. I can't really remember. But Frankie, there was a guy in chat having your back and defending you. His name was Frank something. I didn't see that. Again, like I've got some really loyal, awesome people on here. And I appreciate every single. I appreciate you, loyal or not. If you're in here listening to me ramble several times a week, shout out to you. It's made this channel what it is. Is it a huge channel? No, but that was never the intention of this. What this is right now today was my intention of it. What is the Clown Show's channel name? Same one he had. I think it's different. I think he's changed it. I think it's Clown in the Mall or some shit like that. I can't recall. Let me check. I think it's Clown. Sorry, hang on. It's Clown 'em All is the name of his channel now. Which again, I mean, this is on brand. This is what he does. Juice, Gargini, and Gish have to be the same people. Potentially. I mean, loads of people use alts up in this bitch. It is the nature of the game. Again, the whole thing is stupid. And it is partially my fault for responding in the first place and now responding again. But I had no choice. The reason I brought it up is because I wanted your response to it, Frankie. Clown mentioned you in the stream wanting to do a panel with you. Again, I would have been very open to do that. But come to me like a man and say, all right, do you want to come on sometime? Instead of being weird about it. And then when I message him in the chat, in the comments to say, all right, let's do this, I get no response. What more can I do but respond to it on here? And that's all I can do. I tell your girlfriend I said late happy birthday. I'm not sure if that's a swipe or anything, but I don't even know how to make alts. Clown is gonna step up to Rapscallion. Anyone who has an issue with Frankie is a brain dead worm. I mean, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, to use a nice little English colloquialism there. I'm not. I get that. But my intention was never going to be. It's to come on here, be authentic, get some real motherfuckers up in here that want to talk some MMA, talk some shit about life. And you know what? I feel like I've achieved that. I've achieved way more than I was ever expecting to on this platform. And I'm proud of what this platform's become. Oh, sorry, what this channel's become on the platform. That's it. And I mean, I'm not gonna get petty with it. I've said a few petty things, and I do want to apologize for that to the chat because some of the things I've said in the last half an hour have been a little bit cunty, but we all have that in us deep down, I guess. And ultimately, I'm a mature individual that knows better than this, but fuck it. Frankie's my favorite white MMA YouTuber. Fuck me, that cannot be true. But I really appreciate it. You're the cup of tea of millions of Mongolian women around the world. Not just Mongolian. Let's not stereotype. Anyone in the Asian region is generally my thing. I'll be real. We know that about me. I mean, I've said it many times. This is not a secret. My favorite thing about watching you is ripping on women. I mean, I guess that's the pot calling the kettle black. It's a little bit of like glass houses kind of shit. Because I do talk about women a lot. And not always in the best of terms, but I do love what they've got going on under their pants and the sweater meat. So shout out to women all over the world. And they occasionally have interesting things to say. I mean, we've got Lane in here. She's fucking sweet. And Crystal, of course. Gargi Wait, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Gargini brothers. Am I subscribed to you while we're on the subject? Because I believe I should be. I have heard your name before. Let me just clarify this for a moment. Mm, 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 mm. 1 second. Where are you? Sorry for taking a pause in a minute in the middle of my fucking rant. Go to channel. Oh, okay. I thought you had a channel. Sorry, bro. Again, Usalis is someone that I'm really. Hey, Klaus, how's it going, bro? Sorry, you've just missed the mother of all rants that I've probably ever done on here. I recommend going back and watching it from the start. It's been fun. It's been fun. How do you see the main event going, Frankie? I think Leon's going to win a very close decision, possibly 3 rounds to 2. I do think Brady's very good, but I think short notice, UK probably bitten off a little bit more than he could chew. I'm siding with Leon Edwards on this one. I still think he's got something to give. Gargini, I don't cause problems, bro. I just watch. What the fuck is your PFP? Going back now. Fuck it. Go back at the end. I want you here live for this just to hang out. And like I said, we are I might go back. See ya. All right, bro. Um I hope to have you on Sunday again, JVD, because we got cut off in the middle of a conversation and I'm looking forward to continuing it. Brady gonna do it for his baby. There is something in that, there is something in that first time baby. It gives you extra strength, you know? It gives you an extra will to succeed. So that's a very good. I just don't like the short notice for him. And people are forgetting how good Leon Edwards is. Is he the most exciting? No. But he's very good. And I think he's going to get it done. And he is fighting at fucking 10 p.m. this time, which I think will work in his favor. Staph infection or otherwise. How you doing, Gaz? What's good, man? Sorry, you must seem a little bit confused right now. For good reason. I've said what I'm going to say about it. That was quite a rant. My fucking throat hurts. You know how I roll. I certainly do, sir. But yeah, how you doing, Gaz? Shout out to everyone here. Thank you for popping by and listening to me go on and on. But yeah, that's how it is. Frankie, you can watch the whole clown show or skip through. I don't talk shit about my friends. I fully you don't mate, I've been on your channel multiple times. I know you're a genuine dude. And at the end of the day, I'm not somebody who's thin-skinned anyway. It probably sounds like I am after crashing out the way I just did, but it is what it is. Leon's got staph, can't back an infected. I don't know. There's a lot made about staph infection. I know it's very serious. Fighters, people that wrestle all the time will know about it more than I do, the antibiotics and all that kind of stuff. I think there's a skill discrepancy here. I think Leon's going to get it done. And like the stream, dickheads, do like the stream. I think I'm worthy of a little just for this monumental crash out I've just had. It's not the most live viewers I've had in here. I believe it or not, I hit 70 at one point. But it's pretty fucking close. Nothing like a little bit of YouTube drama and idiotic beef to stoke the fucking flames of a channel. Sean had staph. People forget, man. Hell yeah. He did. And Can't remember what fight that was for, but he managed to pull through that quite well. Dougie go live. Dougie is going to go live at some point, I think. Dougie usually goes live when I'm safely in bed. I usually end up missing Doug. I watch Dougie's watch-alongs religiously, but the morning live streams I miss quite a lot. The staff is on his elbow though, so his strikes have poison damage too. You see, this is why Black Betty sees you're not thinking, or the rest of you aren't thinking. He could infect him in the middle of the fight. Great take on the main event. I feel the same way. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a great fight. I like the fight, and Sean Brady could step up. I don't think he's had the competition to necessarily justify this, but fair play to him for stepping up and essentially saving the card. I will say this though: if I'd paid tickets for that son of a bitch, thinking that Jack Della Maddalena was going to be on the card, and I got this fucking calm down, this guy instead, I would have been absolutely raging because tickets aren't cheap these days. Paying £1,000 to watch Sean Brady go for his nutsack is not my idea of a good night. But and let's not forget that Molly McCann's on the main card as well. So I've got the MMA YouTube night shift exactly. We run things like smooth clockwork around here. It's me, Bodach, musical, Dougie, sometimes brutally, rinse and repeat. We basically got the same guys up in chat. The same beautiful motherfuckers that come here every night. And like I said, I used to be somebody who went on at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, but I just don't have the stamina for it anymore. Got work, can't do it. Imagine Leon gets into full guard and grinds his nasty staff elbow into Brady's face. That would be a snap. I'm going to say something as well. Yeah, I reckon Leon Edwards gets a takedown. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I reckon he throws one in there. Yeah. So like I said, it's a decent card. I think there's going to be some good scraps on there. Molly Meatball is fucking dreadful, and I've seen this girl she's fighting. She's actually decent. She's quite technical. I know Molly McCann has a very odd just way of. She's like it's like someone said in the chat. She's the Drew Dobar of women's MMA. She just seems to have a affinity for like beating up black people. That might need to be studied. Funny, Frankie has a beef stream and everyone in chat is just beefing. To be honest, Grimy, this is not unknown in here. Like early on, when my chats used to get going, it used to be people literally crashing out on each other. And I'd just be sitting there with nothing to say because it was just like, you're a punk, you're a this, and it was just non-stop. And I'd just sit here like bored out of my mind. So it is something that has happened. Leon has nice trips, which she fought in the clinch more often, seems to have abandoned it recently. It might be a cardio thing. And again, it kind of depends on who he's up against. Leon Edwards is really good. He's really good. He's not explosive. He's not going to knock somebody out, but he's very difficult to deal with, manages the range well, very technical striker, great cardio, very good fire range. And the fact that he's an underdog in this one, at home, at a reasonable hour of the day, I think you've got to take that all day. Leon 100% gets one. He's got the ego with the wrestling. Wanted to wrestle Bilal at times, but got one on Colby. Yeah, people forget, man. Never forget. What fight are you looking forward to the most? I would say it's Jan Blachowicz and Carlos Ulberg. That's pretty much what I'm going for. What I'll do, JVD, is I'll open up a panel tomorrow because I'm only on here for like another half an hour and I don't want to cut people off in the middle of their flow. But tomorrow, I'll do a full panel. Once it's had 24 hours to percolate all the shit that I've been talking. And I'll open up a panel and then whoever turns up can turn up. Usual business. I'm thinking of moving it to Fridays anyway. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg. And I'm telling you now, I think Jan Blachowicz is going to beat his ass. Now, there's every chance that he might come back completely cooked and fucked. He's had so many surgeries. He's been out for a while. Jan Blachowicz is highly skilled. And he is by far the best person that Ulberg has fought. And Ulberg looked really shit against Volkan Oezdemir. I didn't really enjoy that performance. Is the best movie stream getting pushed again? I think we kind of have to wait for it to happen organically. Because people in here don't come in here and follow the rules. If I try and say we're going to talk about this tonight, Like, ironically, this is the only night this has happened. Whenever I try to do that, people basically tell me to go fuck myself, and then we talk about whatever we people feel like talking about. I think the chat and the streams are much better when things are just organic and we can just go off on one. Frankie, after you talked about it, I watched an interview with Eubanks and Ben. English people talk shit very gracefully. It was great. Grimy, if you want some more funny shit to watch, look up Derek Chisora, look up Dillian White. There are a few British boxers out there who are fucking unbelievable. Yan being plus 300 is bonkers to me. You can't. I'm happy to bet on that and lose my money because he's such a heavy underdog. It's almost gift wrapped to give it a go. You can single bet that and go. True, we're a bunch of rebels, and I love all you motherfuckers for it. I genuinely do. I think I've got one of the best chat communities out there for a small channel. Genuinely. Anakin is 145. I'm about 145, I would say. If I was a fighter, I'd be 145. I would say. But for anyone who gives a fuck, I walk around at lightweight. JVD, have you decided what weight class you're going to commit to? I walk around at about 160, something like that. But obviously, I wouldn't fight at 155 because I'm 5'7" and I'd get battered. So I could probably cut down to bantamweight because I'm a bit, I've got a bit of meat on the bone. That's what I'll say. Hang on a sec. Come on, JVD. Let's not go too hard on Chrissy J. I love Chrissy J as well. Another one who's been here from the beginning. So shout out to Chrissy J. I don't trust Yan with the long layoff. That's why I took the Lindsay last week. I don't blame you for that. And again, it's a very big. I just think there's a massive skill discrepancy. There just is. Middleweight. I think that's a good look for you because what, you're 6'3". I think middleweight would be nice. I could make 185 if I had 6 months notice. Yeah, you're quite a big lad, from what I've heard. So that computes for me. So I assume you're walking around at like 205, 210, something like that. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't show their faces on YouTube, and I get it because I when I first started out on YouTube for the first year, I didn't show my face at all, and it was a dead ass channel. I had a few. I mean, I wouldn't say it's fire now, but like, well, its chat is fire. Grimey's right about that. But I just think there's an intimacy and shit that comes with being on camera, talking to your audience. You know, I think it's better that way. So yeah, that's what it is. I'd say, yeah, if I was a professional fighter, I'd probably be a bantamweight, if I'm being real. That's probably would be my best chance for success. But yeah, on that aside, what Gargini's saying, anyone that goes on YouTube deserves some modicum of respect. You know, if you're willing to put yourself out there, put your personality out there, you deserve my respect. I just think if you're gonna say certain things, fighting words is basically what I'm talking about. It just seems disingenuous not when you're not showing your face on camera. Even if you're someone who's a content creator who edits videos and puts stuff out there, you're putting yourself out there, you know? So I've got respect for that. Anyone who gets on YouTube and does their thing, respect to them. There's a skill discrepancy between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Yan's fucking old and has had 1,000 surgeries. Been to the. I've noticed, Dougie, you and I disagree on picks almost constantly. Almost to the letter. We always disagree. Frankie, you're too nice, man. It's all but do you know what, bro? I'm just who I am, man. I can't help it. The thing is, though, I'm a nice person, but like I'm not. I do have a little bit of dog in me. Like I'm not a complete pussy. I can be a pussy about some things, but not about everything. Depends on the situation. I turn into a pussy when the stakes are too high. Like I'm not getting my brains blown out over some stupid shit. I put it that way. Life is too valuable, and I've got kids. That's all true, Dougie. But legendary Polish power. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Dougie, alternatively, Yan could come back and the time off could do him really, really well. And Carlos Ulberg is let me put it this way, Dougie. Should Carlos Ulberg be a minus 250 favorite or a minus 300 favorite or whatever against Jan Blachowicz, who has fought everyone? This is a guy who beat Israel Adesanya, who arguably beat Alex Pereira. You know what I'm saying? Frankie, stop with the humble brag. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard doing that. Okay, Frankie, so if someone treated you in real life, how Anakin treated you here, how would you react? I would have an adult conversation with somebody about that in the same way that I'm doing it now. Again, when I was young, I was a hothead. I've got into stupid scraps for stupid reasons. I've told you guys in the past, I had my face split open. This nose has been broken a couple of times, which is why it looks like a fucking airplane. I'm not, you know, shy about having, but now I'm an older, maturer person, or more mature person, should I say. I don't just scrap people for stupid reasons. But if someone's doing that, yeah, I'd be like, you know, like grow up a bit. That's it. But again, I'm not sure that was 100% his intention. And I'm not gonna throw Anakin under the bus for that because I don't know what the situation was. And I don't think he was the one that instigated it. I did have my part to say in it. I did say things about Clown Show. I don't think they were too harsh, but I said things, and there has to be repercussions for that. He has every right to say what he wants to say, but a lot of the things he said were dumb and retarded. So I have a right to respond to that too. It was stupid. I often roast you, but I hope you know if you ever needed you, I got you, big bruv. You know how it is. And I got a lot of respect for you as well. The stuff you've done in the community has been amazing. And all banter aside, which is what it is, you're a good dude. And there's a lot of good fucking dudes up in here. I settled beefs with AI music, bro. I still play that song to this day. Munter Under a Willow Tree should be a smash hit, mate. World class. Better than anything I've heard in years. Why are there so many alts in this chat? Yeah. I can't control that. No, he shouldn't. I'd sprinkle the under two, but the logical pick is the younger guy. Look at all the people he's beat. Yeah, look at all the people BJ Penn beat. It's a slightly different situation, though. BJ Penn, BJ Penn is an idiot. He fought way too much, didn't look after himself. It's a completely different thing. I don't think here's the thing. Yan, I'm saying this, Dougie. Yan could go in there and be completely washed and fucked. He absolutely could be. But we haven't seen anything to suggest that yet. We haven't. He looked really good in his last fight, and he had a surgery before that as well. He's 40 years old. If he was fighting at 155, he was a 155 fighter, I'd say, nah, he's done. Fuck it. He fights at 205. Those guys have more longevity, which is why I'd agree with Betty and say I don't think it's a fair comparison. Like you said, he had a draw with the champ, which he arguably could have won. The Ankalaev fight, I thought was very clearly a draw, in my opinion. Some people thought Ankalaev won, but nobody can say it wasn't a close fight. It was. He beat Adesanya. He beat what's his name? That guy that went to Bellator. The guy who's Anderson. He was a good fight. He was a good fighter. Up until now, all we've got on the evidence of Jan Blachowicz is that he's a great fighter and it's still not over for him. But it could be. So based on what I know, the tangibles that I can measure, I will say that I think I certainly cannot see how Jan Blachowicz is justifiable as a plus 300 underdog. That's mad. Jan is 42 and he did not draw with Alex. I'll be honest with you, Lane. I watched that fight and I had money on Pereira. And usually when I put money on somebody, I always look at what they're doing more than what the other person is doing. And that being said, when the scorecards were being read out, I was thinking, I remember I was sat in a bar, funnily enough, in Manila, and I was watching the fight on my phone. And I was like, he might have lost this one. I'm not going to cry robbery if my money's... And it was the last leg of a parlay, and I was due to make a lot of money. And I said to myself, well, if it's lost, it's lost. I can't... No complaints. And when he got the nod, I was like, yeah, fair enough. But I can see how that fight could be scored for Yan. 100%. Chrissy J is the big mom energy, woman energy, dick energy. I can't see the... But that's okay. We all love and respect our golden aged community elders. Being one of them, I very much appreciate your respect for the elderly, sir. Lane, that's right. Yan beat ANC and Alex. Yan is the real champ. I mean, the Ank fight, I thought it was a draw. I thought he won the first three, he got 10-8'd in the fourth, and then he lost the fifth. Or it might have been 10-8'd in the fifth. I can't remember. But he was destroying his legs at the beginning of that fight, and I had him up 3-0. So a draw to me is somewhat reasonable. People going on like that was a robbery is fucking ridiculous. Anyway. Yeah, do you know what? I agree with you on that, Lane. Neither of them won. A draw, I think, was perfectly fair. I had it a draw as well. Big taco energy. It could be. I can't see because I'm using Restream. I can't see emojis on here, which often makes my interpretation of the chat very, very difficult to deal with. He's gonna beat down Ank in the rematch, though. You think Yan will beat down Ank in the rematch? I think he could get it. If he wins on Saturday, he's gonna get a rematch. Hey, now I'm pretty sure Chrissy is younger than me, and that means you're calling me really old. I don't know how old Chrissy is. I don't even. Yeah, I have no idea. But shout out to the seniors in here. Fair enough. Feels like the co-main is more hyped than the main at this point. It 100% is because the problem with the thing is here, the main event is a very good fight, but it's not the fight that we asked for, and it's not the fight that we expected. We all thought it was going to be Jack Della Maddalena and Leon, and this is pretty mid in comparison. But at the same time, I'm glad that because Shavkat's on the shelf, I'm glad that uh Della Maddalena's getting his shot because there's nobody else right now. Hot take, but Allberg chins Alex. No chance, mate. No chance. Because it would be a straight up striking match, and there's no way that Allberg is not that good. And he's got a I don't think Allberg can go 5 rounds. He's gassed horribly in 3. Didn't he lose to Kennedy Nezachukwu? And to be fair, he did batter him for the majority of that fight, but then he got absolutely chinned at the end. So there's still question marks about that. The fact that Frankie has actually celebrated women in chat should be celebrated. You're right. This is the thing. A lot of people say that I hate women in here. I absolutely don't. I just think they're all slags. I'm joking. I love women. They just piss me off sometimes. And I've been very vocal about that. But again, the chat kind of directs what I say about women in some degrees because certain things get brought up. And then I go off on a little bit of a rant, and like as I have done today. And then I forget to be balanced, you know? Thanks, Frankie. Us old cunts need support. We do. We've got to suck up to this younger generation as well, because by the way it looks here, they're gonna use us for fucking food, mate. The way things are going. We're gonna be put out to pasture. The way things are progressing these days. 38 in the chat is crazy. I know, it's crazy. There was a time when that was unfathomable to me. Unfathomable. Which is awesome. So again, appreciate to everyone who came in here to talk shit. I'm not going to say that, Gargini. I threw around 50-pound bags of feed and 70-pound hay bales quite often. I've got to tell you, yeah, farmer strength is next level. Anyone who works on a farm, farmers often don't look the biggest, but they've got that, I call it farm strength. Don't get into a fight with a farmer. They'll fuck you up. They're lifting around that shit all day. They're hanging around with animals. I don't know why that's relevant to what I'm saying, but you know what I mean. They got that grit strength. Don't fuck with a farmer. And they'll shoot your ass as well if you get on their property. Frank's a real one, but it's mind-boggling why we are still here. It is. It is. Like, I mean, you're calling me out a little bit, which is fair. I don't really know either. I don't really know. I find it's better that if I don't ask questions, things just keep rolling, you know? And again, my expectations when I made this channel were literally rock bottom. Rock bottom. So the fact that anyone turns up talking shit is amazing. I remember the bad MMA math days. Well, if Clown Show had been a fan before, It could have been Faggot Night Frankie, which is also what you called me in that little clip, by the way. I actually got a good chuckle out of that one because that was bang on the nose as well. Bang on my big triangle shaped nose. And by the way, if anyone sees Sniff, tell him I said fuck you. He said I look like Dougie, that cartoon character. That one hurt because it was freakishly accurate. But my nose isn't a fucking round potato. It's literally a gigantic pyramid. So tell him fuck him when you see him. Can someone tell me what Anakin and Clown did? What I would recommend him. I know you probably got a lot of time. You probably sorry that came out badly. I know you probably don't have a lot of time on your hands, but go back and watch the stream. There's about 30 minutes of it where I just go on a ramble about the entire thing. Changed. Frankie is Gargini. I am. That's why I've got my hands underneath the thing at all times. I'm working like multiple alts at the same time. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, the ultimate lesson from all of this, and I know it's ironic me saying this, don't take things too personally. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, fuck it. All this internet stuff is fun, but ultimately it doesn't really amount to anything in terms of real life beef or anything. Watch the first 40 minutes, Tim. Yeah, that's about where I kind of cut it off. That's where the rant kind of reached its climax and then fell off a cliff. Oh, my fucking. I almost read it out like that as well. 30 minutes. It kind of sounds like. I'll always be bad math to some extent. Like, I haven't even bothered to change the logo on my channel, which is lazy as fuck. I should get my daughter to draw me up another one. My daughter drew that up for me. She drew my banner as well, which is why my fighters look a little bit inaccurate. She doesn't really know that much about MMA. Yeah. So who is former banana kush enjoyer? Where's that? Where's that? 30. 30. Are you gonna take the piss out of how I say 30? But bear in mind, yeah, I have to stop when I say it because the London in me makes me want to say 30. 30. But it's 30. You have to, you know. 30. Water. Water. It comes out of me every now and then. It's the London twang accent that really makes me sound like I'm completely retarded at times. But like I said, I've been back at work recently, so I'm starting to try and use the Queen's English a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You said 30 first. It's the London part of me. It's the London part. That's how we pronounce things. We pronounce things like retards. It's all about convenience with the London accent. It's about how quickly can I say something and how can I sound as hard as possible. That's what being from London is all about. 30. 30. It's how I say it. And depending on what day you catch me on, you could see me saying both. Thoughts on Sean Brady being more British than Leon? In what sense? I'm interested to get your take on that. I find Leon Edwards quite funny. I do. I enjoy Leon Edwards. But he's from Brummie and he's from Birmingham, which is they're Brummies. They have the most dirtbag accent imaginable in the UK. I think people think Leon Edwards is a boring twat because they can't really understand what the fuck he's saying. I'm pretty sure most of us Brits use F instead of because in order to say it in our accent, we've kind of got to really enunciate 30. Which means you've got to pause in the middle of what you're saying. Our accent is not London accents in particular, yeah, are not built for correct 100% grammatical English. And you guys can take the piss all you want. I can take it. But yeah, it's the f sound as opposed to the th, because th seems very unnatural. It seems like you've got to take a natural pause. Wasn't Leon born in Jamaica? He was, yeah. He should have just repped Jamaica. I've got no issues with him representing Britain because he grew up in Britain. I think he came here when he was like 7 or 8. I came here when I was 1. And I kind of rep Britain when it suits me. But really, I'm Irish. If I was a UFC fighter, I'd have the Irish flag in my name. Aluminum. But aluminum and aluminium are different words. Aluminum, aluminium. I was recently told that they're the same thing, which I didn't know because I'm not, in case you haven't noticed, I'm not a scientist. I'm a literacy professor. I don't do much of that these days. It's more like sheep herding what I do at my job. Takes more than a piece of paper to be British. Interesting take. I think when you live here long enough, this, just like with anywhere, this place just imprints itself on you. It really does. It just has a way of seeping into your bones. But I have the Irish come out of me quite a bit as well, because I was raised by an Irish woman, so I've got that part of me. You know, the Catholic guilt, the humor, that kind of stuff. My humor is very aluminum foil. Why are you getting me to do this? He came to the UK after his drug dealer gangbanging dad was shot dead. True story. True story. I think he was quite young when his dad got shot as well. I mean, you know, it's not Leon's fault that happened. And it is unfortunate. Frankie, do you like to drink at bars or special occasions? I used to be a heavy drinker, mate. I used to drink on stream. People who've been here from the start used to tune in to see me get absolutely rat-assed on pretty much a liter of whiskey. So I'd start the stream, a watch along with a liter of whiskey, and I'd gradually whittle it down to the end. And just all the fucked up things that are hiding underneath my personality would come crashing out. We can't hide that sexist, racist, bigoted part of ourselves when you're drunk as fuck. And we've all got that as part of us. Not that I'm a sexist person, but I'd like to consider myself to not be a fully fledged racist bigot. But it's deep down in all of us somewhere. Aluminum is the American pronunciation. Aluminium is the original name of the element. Thank you for clarifying that, Thor. I'll be honest, yeah. I wasn't aware that they were both the same thing, but I never really thought about it. I've never really had to think about it because I don't care. But I would expect Americans, you dumb fuckers, to break everything down. It's like airplane. We talked about this before. It's aeroplane, not airplane, you dumb, simple fucks. I've really got the beef juice in me today, don't I? This whole nice guy Frankie act has just all come crumbling down. I just had an image of Frankie guiding some 20-year-old down the hall going, "No, you dumbass stuff at work that should get me fired. But fortunately hasn't so far. Leon was already in the UK when his old man was murdered. Also true. I think he was relatively young though when it happened. What up, chat? Junk Alongswich Classic. I'm glad you weren't here earlier, Jax. You missed some. I think I've reached my most tism. I think I've tismed out the most on this one. A shout out to Making the Walk. If you're not subscribed over there, he's the one who got me into, first of all, showing my face on camera, but taking YouTube a little bit more seriously. I love Making the Walk, love his family. Great dude, great channel. Subscribe immediately. Do something nice for your boy Frankie tonight. I'm puffed out from all this fucking gassing off. I'm trying to work. Please keep the commentary positive, Frankie. I'm doing the best I can, bro. Doing the best I can. Well, like I said, shout out to all of you here. I know I do this all the time, but I cannot express how grateful I am to every single one of you for being a part of this adventure and for listening to me again. I didn't think the entire stream would be about this, but to be fair, we have managed to chuck some MMA kind of in. No, but Lane, it's more the way that our inflictions are. So our voices are just not very well like fine-tuned to say things in a certain way. Whereas up in the middle part of England, it's more fine-tuned to over-enunciate. London people don't do that. But we haven't added a syllable, mate. You fucking taken it away, you lazy fucking pricks. So fuck you. That's the real story here. It's like colors with no you. How retarded are you? Do you understand how phonics works? How to enunciate? I've just made this up. I'm just fucking beefing with the whole of America now. I love America, by the way. Thank you, Crystal, for shouting out Making the Walks channel. I'm such a lazy prick. Can't be bothered to do these things myself sometimes. And again, I didn't link things in the channel, which I should have done this morning, but I was so busy today. So shout out to you once again for stepping up and stepping up large. I appreciate it. So is there anything else you fuckers want to talk about while we're here? Let's get into it. You don't pronounce R's. I've never noticed that. Well, I did pronounce it when I said pronounce. And I'm not Chinese, bro. Hustle Bones, you've turned up. You've turned up late, bro. You're gonna need to go back to the beginning to see how I've crashed out in the most embarrassing way possible. But the long and short of it is, he said some stuff, I said some stuff, he said some stuff, I've now said some stuff back, and it's probably gonna carry on until the end of YouTube history. And I'm all for it. Fuck it. But I don't want my channel to be the kind of thing that's like known for like YouTube beef or gets boosted by YouTube beef. Because as you all know, I think it's very gay. Big closeted. I mean, he does use the word faggot quite a lot. And he's got a lot of kind of synonyms for faggot as well. A lot of his insults seem to be, you know, dick licker, ball sucker, sword swallower, stuff like that. Leon in 5. Yes, Matua. We're going Leon in 5. So back to what this channel is all about, which is gonna make everybody tune off instantly. I've got Leon Edwards in 5. I've got Jan Blachowicz winning. If Jan Blachowicz turns up in there at even 75%, I think he wins comfortably in 3, maybe even knocks his ass out. Looks like Jones Aspinall may actually not happen. It's crazy because it went from one spectrum to the next. It looked like it was going to happen. Now it's completely the other way. From what I've seen, I think it's more likely to happen now than ever. And I'm saying this knowing that I've made a reasonably sized bet with Giuliano, saying the contrary. But we'll find out. I think he's ultimately going to be right, and I think that John Jones is going to fight Aspinall at Madison Square Garden in November, or I think the fight will at least be booked. And then I reckon he pulls out like the little pussy he is, says he's injured, and says he has to retire, and that'll be the end we get of John Jones, mercifully. But again, if we do get that fight, I'd very happily shed over my money for that instance. It would be well worth the money. And then if we don't get it, well, at least I'm, well, marginally better off. Don't forget pole smoking butt pirate. I'm correcting you there. I'm assuming you're meaning pole smoking butt pirate and that your audio has let you down again. You should go on clown. I mean, there's a very distinct possibility that it could happen. The ball's on his court. I've left a little comment in his chat. Again, very cordial. It will ultimately be down to him. I've said my piece. And I could go into a lot more, but I can't be fucked. Frankie, why does Powerton want the rematch so quick? He needs to make massive adjustments because he's old. It's because he's old and there's not much time left. And it's how he does things. He's constantly active. He's constantly in the gym. It's the only fight that's left for him, unfortunately, because he's not going to get a heavyweight title fight now. Although if circumstances play out that way, he could end up fighting Tom Aspinall, which would be very bad for him. I think he should take he's probably hoping he can catch Ankalaev out cold. I guess make it as short notice as possible and see if he can catch him that way. I don't know. But it was very clear to me watching that fight that Ankalaev is the superior mixed martial artist. Me and your mom want to apologize to you, Frankie. We are sorry about Uncle Nigel touching you 33 times at least. You son of a bitch. That's tickled me. That is funny. Who the fuck is Uncle Nigel? Sounds like a grade A nonce if I've ever heard one. Yeah, I've become very proficient in speech to text because of you, Crystal. I've had to fine tune that shit. You know. But yeah, I've said a lot on the Aspinall Jones thing. I think Aspinall and Jones will it probably will at least get announced. Whether it happens or not is another question, but we'll see. How's it going, Ojama? Ojama? Um, nice to have you in here. I've never seen your name in here before. Hope you're doing well and having a wonderful week. My rant is over. I feel like that was cathartic for me. I needed a little bit of a rant, and I'm glad. Like I said, I didn't plan it. I knew I was going to do it tonight, but I didn't really plan what I was going to say or anything. I've just let things flow, and I hope it's been somewhat entertaining for you people. I've certainly had a good time doing it. Fuck reform. Reform in what regard? Homeland is our party. We're back on this one again, are we? Um, Fuck reform in what sense? I'm willing to have a conversation about this. In fact, we can get into it tomorrow. I'm going to do an open panel tomorrow after things have percolated, and we'll see. I went in on that bet too, Frankie. John won't fight. I don't blame you, Lane. And now that you've backed me up on this, I'm kind of feeling a little bit more confident because I've got to be honest. The way things have, because I made that bet before Jones fought, Alex fought Ankalaev, and I can see now why Giddy was so insistent that I made the bet before that fight because a lot is predicated on that. But how you doing, Mikey? What's good, my man? Frankie, I gave Gills 2-1 on our bet. I put 2K against his 1K. I thought the straight bet between us was unfair. It's a good bet for us. I agree because Giddy was based. Oh, you mean for this weekend? So Giddy was basically asking if I would, go for Jan Blachowicz, Ulberg in a straight up bet, or and throwing Leon Edwards and Brady in there. And I'm like, but I've got two underdogs. If I'm going to put that much money on, I might as well just go to the bookies and really make some money if that comes through, as opposed to do a straight up evens play. I know it's different because it's more personal and it's person to person, but I'm like, yeah, might as well go to a bookie for that one. So I opted to stay out of that one. Fuck, just realized I have a horrible splinter. They are fucking horrible to deal with. See, I don't really get splinters because I don't fuck around with woodwork because I'm not a real man out here. I'm more of an academic. I'm not really somebody who gets into the graft and gets his hands dirty, which is probably why I get called a pussy so often. Nigel Farage is a fraud. I don't really know that much about Nigel Farage other than he's a bit. Mm. We talked about this, JVD. I would trust my wife around anyone, or I would trust the mother of my children, should I call her, around anyone. I think it's nicer way to say that. I would trust the mother of my children around anyone else on earth. Because look at me. There is no better, people. That's how confident I am. And my dick slinging game is tremendous. It's at least a 7. At least you can admit that. I'm not sure what I'm admitting. But whatever I admitted to, yes, I admit that. I do. I speak nothing but truth on here. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, but why didn't Clown call you a fair-skinned fag? I mean, to be fair, I don't know what the exact wording of it was, I forget. I think he said pasty. I think it was pasty. He's got a point. I mean, I look a little bit orange on stream right now because it's a bit dark. I am a pasty white fuck. He's got me on that. And I have said some really zesty things. Very true. Lane, strange for him. He usually bets with anyone who offers. Yeah, Giddy's always down for a bet. I gotta give him that. He puts his money where his mouth is. I gotta give him props for that. John's an idiot. Yes, he is. The thing is, he's tripped up on himself so many times. If he doesn't take this fight now, I made a video about this in the past. If he doesn't take this fight now for whatever reason, it's gonna severely stain his legacy. It's gonna be John Jones was a great fighter, and then another butt to add to the list of fucked up things he's already done and dubious decisions he's already got. So just be another thing where people are like, you're an idiot. Clown doesn't like women, so I think Frankie's misses would be fine. Again, the whole again, somebody who overuses the word faggot and goes on about people being gay all the time, that's a bit of a red flag to me. I'll be real. Some news, nothing confirmed per Ariel. Kyogi Horiguchi is coming back to the UFC. They are targeting Tagir Ulanbekov in June for an Azerbaijan fight. Azerbaijan fight. That's a great fight. I would have liked to have seen him fight. Um, what's his name? The guy who came over from Ryzen and got beaten in the. I've forgotten his name off the top of my head. I would have liked to see that. Ulanbekov's a good fighter though. Horiguchi is very, very good, but he's a little bit older now. Jax from Making the Walk is somebody who highly rates. Again, you could do the rubber match with Manel Cap. They fought twice and they're 1-1. I wouldn't have minded seeing that. But Manel Cap for the Kai Asakura. Thank you, Ojama. Kai Asakura. I would have liked to have seen that, but yeah. Use your masturbation tweezers, Weston. You can borrow mine if you want. They're very small. Anyway, Crystal, he is a mortal, not a vampire. Yeah, Tim got very, very upset about this, and I have to kind of agree with him. I've never bitten anyone for blood. The boa does what the fuck he wants, Trickus. Indeed. Anyway, guys, we know what time it is. I'm just going to double check over here because I did promise that this was a pre-stream for one of my favorite YouTubers at the moment. I'm going to see if he's on. I don't think he's online quite yet. So we'll basically wait until he jumps online. But can someone let me know when Bodach jumps on so we can make a hopefully very nice transition over to Bodach's stream? But we'll keep talking shit in here until he comes on. Until then, we'll wait for Bodach. We've never seen him in front of the mirror. He can't even tell us what the color of a mirror is. I mean, those rumors have not been confirmed. But later, bro. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thank you for stopping by as always. And like I said, if you feel like really seeing me rage bait, or sorry, not rage bait, but rage crash, this is the stream to see it. I'm just giving it a minute until Bodach turns up. I'm not sure if he's on or not. Can someone confirm to me whether Bodach is on? Or is it on Brutali's channel? Because I've seen Brutally pop up and it says MMA quiz night. So maybe he's on. All right, what we'll do, boys, because Bodach's not on yet and I really do have to fuck off, I'm assuming that it may be something, there may be something going on his stream, or maybe it's, let's head over to Brutally Honest MMA, another fucking legend in the game. I've crashed it in twice there because I think I might have fucked it up. If you guys could head over to, oh, Musical's on as well. Maybe they're doing, fuck. Because I can't see Bodach on, and I know he said he was going to go on at 10. Maybe there's a glitch going on. But if you head over to Brutally or head over to Musical, I'm sure you'll find your way over to Bodach's stream at some point. But give that guy some love as well, because again, he's growing his channel. I think he's at 300 subs now. Excellent production value. And the quiz nights are amazing. He's doing a quiz night tonight. It's kicking off in about half an hour. So get your asses over there. And thank you all once again for listening to me rant, listening to me go off. I'm sure this is not going to be the last of it, but it's out there. Oh, Bodach, you're running late. All right, I'll try and hang around for another couple of seconds. But what I'll do now is I'll send over your link to the peeps. Do you know what? Go over to Musical or to, do you know what? Oh, fuck it. I've got it here. Hang on a second. Guys, it is up. The link is up here. Guys, head over to Bodach. Musicals is pre-quiz, and I'm assuming Brutally's probably is as well. I've linked him in the description. Head over to Bodach. Give him a couple of minutes and enjoy the quiz. If I'm still awake, I'll probably jump on myself. But I appreciate that, Usalis. I'm a bit embarrassed with myself for even responding, but you can understand why I did. I think you can. Anyway, shout out to you. Shout out to your channel. Get over to Bodach and have a wonderful evening, all of you. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'm going to do an open panel, and we'll see who turns up. Maybe he who shall not be named will turn up himself. Lane, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone. Have a great one. Much love. and prosperity.